Well, this simple job just got a little bit bigger. The RV industry strikes again. There's no gasket. This is partly rotted and a little bit of a soft spot right there. This is definitely not acceptable. 45 minutes into a 10-minute job. Red and black are not red and black. Green is red and white is black. The camera is still on and we've reached the end of the tape measure. So you've got a 100-foot rig, which I don't know who does. Still gonna work. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my 2018 Thor Ace 30.2 Class A RV. Today I've got another small project on the RV, another fairly inexpensive project. I'm gonna replace the backup camera. Now this RV came with a backup camera, and you can see the monitor that I've installed there, and I've got a video replacing where I replaced the stereo. So I decided not to put the backup camera system, and I think you can see there's some, I'll probably take you in here in a second, but there's a control box down below, and that control box controls all the outputs. And when this RV, when we bought this RV, that camera didn't work or didn't activate until you put the vehicle in reverse. And then also when you hit the turn signals, it turns left and right because there are cameras on the mirrors. The problem is those cameras have since died, and the backup camera just goes dark when you hit left and right, and then it has a delay to it, and I just prefer having the backup camera. Also, you know, it's been fine, and that little monitor has been cool as well, but a company reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to try our RV backup camera? I wasn't even necessarily thinking about it at the time, but they have a wireless backup camera that says made for Furrion systems. This is not a Furrion factory system, but looking at the details, it looks like I can install this in my RV. So really all I need is 12-volt power back there because it's all wireless. So let me show you what we've got here. So as you can see, the company is called Auto-Vox. So Auto-Vox is a company, and I'll have to look up the price. I'll put the price up here somewhere, exactly how much this thing costs on Amazon, but you know, I'll definitely put a link in the description. But here is the system. So it's not as tall, but it is a wide camera, and it's a very simple setup here. I'll show you. Move my power here for a second. So this is the monitor, like I said. The monitor has it clips into this base, and this base can be mounted to any dashboard. And if you want to, like I might do, I don't know, well, this one's good, but if I did it on a different vehicle, I just put some screws in here and drill it right into the dash. And then you have this is the power cable for this monitor. So you can plug it right into the cigarette lighter adapter, and you've got a USB cable, and then it's also got a power button on it. So that's good. And then it has two small antennas, because this is a completely wireless system. So you're not going to have any problems, any need to actually wire this thing, which was a concern. You know, one of the reasons that I didn't install another one is, you know, if I had to do extra wiring or do this, I drilled a hole in that one, in the dash, and actually ran the cables down to the box down there. So that's obviously something some people don't want to do, but now it has some arrows, and we'll find out what these arrows do, and then a memory. So we'll figure that out here together once I install this. And then here is the camera itself. So this is definitely larger than mine. I think in our travel trailer that we owned a while ago, it did not have a backup camera, but this was, it looks like there was like a blank plastic piece covering it up, and it was built for Furrion, so I think this would perfectly fit in that application. And then the last thing in here was, you've got a couple of screws here, so it's got some self tappers for, I'm assuming, this. You have an antenna, so the antenna will go here on the side. So this camera also has the outbound antenna that's going to send the signal to the monitor, and then a rubber gasket so you don't have to seal it with silicone. So here's where the wire goes. Mine, I'll take you back there in a minute. It's right on top of a, or I'm sorry, the smaller camera is mounted right underneath a one of the marker lights. So this is going to be the only thing I'm even I wouldn't say concerned, but how I'm going to route this wire is the only question, right? So that's the only thing I've got, and I think this is a lot more wire than we're going to need, but we'll see. Obviously, hopefully I can tuck it back in there. If not, then I'm gonna have to come up with something else, and we will deal with that together. But right now, I got this power bank, and then I also got this. This power bank has two 12-volt outlets, and I got this 12-volt pigtail, and I'm gonna go ahead right now and just test this right where we're at and see what I can do. So now, obviously, there's a red and black on here. These do not clearly come marked red and black, but if you feel the wires, there are a couple extra ridges on one, and then one is smooth. So the research that I did says that typically the ridges are the negative, so they will go to black. So I've got this one lifted up and knowing it's going to go to black. It's got extra ridges on it. This one only has a bit of a ridge where they were stuck together, so otherwise it's pretty smooth. So I'm going to hook these together, plug it in, hopefully I don't fry anything, and then see if we can get some power to this thing, and see what it looks like real quick. All right, well, so far it doesn't look too bad, considering these are kind of low light settings here in the RV. What we do have is I was wrong. So the line with the wire with the bump is positive. Luckily, it didn't damage the camera in any way. But this does have some interesting features. You can pair a second camera to this, so it does have. It will switch over to channel 2. Obviously, I only have one camera, so you can have a second camera, and then you can split screen, and then you can just go back to the regular one. What is interesting here, I think, is you could get a second camera, because what this also has down in the bottom here is an SD card, and this will record. So you could set this to record. And you can toggle here. There's a menu and an up and down arrow button right here on the right side. So you can actually record while it drives. I'm not sure how it overwrites, but if you installed one of these cameras on the front as well, you could have basically a dash cam, an outdoor dash cam, and this would read both of them. So that's kind of cool. And then these controls are mirror, so you can mirror it or upside down. So depending on how we're going to mount this camera, you can actually put it upside down. And then some of the settings here: brightness, contrast, date and time, because it's got date and time stamp there, reset it, and then support. And then when I turned it on, it had the guidelines on, so you can turn the guidelines on or off. I have them off. And then you've got a playback mode, so you can pairing is to pair to the second camera. So those are all the features on it. Pretty cool, pretty slick. I think what I want to do is take this setup, put it on top of the RV, and then do a side-by-side of the current and the old one. I think I can do that with just sitting this on the RV somehow. Well, for simplicity here, for this test, I've just zip-tied it to the top of that ladder. So there's the original, and then there's the one on the ladder. So let's go see what it's it's plugged in and running. Let's see what we got. All right, well, here's our side-by-side comparison. The new one here is amazingly better clarity. I don't know if you can tell. Let me put them right next to each other. Yeah, I think that's clear, right? The color, the clarity, man, that's awesome. So I really like this. The one thing I'm gonna have to adjust and get used to here is going to be the height. I see on this one I can see the bumper and I can see the tow hitch and the. So what I need to do is, when I mount this one, I'm going to have to adjust it down so that, and I think the way it is, this is not the way it's, I think the way I had it, I'm going to have to flip it. It looks extremely easy, but you'll see when you mount it how it mounts up, how it can actually, because I can't turn it any farther down in the way it is. So if I flip it over and it's actually mounted level, it's mounted, it's not mounted you know, on the side horizontally, it's mounted vertically. So once I mount it, because the fuel fill is back here, and when I see the fuel pump, as soon as the handle of the pump comes into the view, that's when I know I'm at the perfect angle. So I'm gonna have to adjust that. Hopefully I can do that by myself, and then switch this one out with this one, because this one looks amazing. So, and I think it's got about the same. This one looks a little wider though, but yeah, I guess we'll see how it plays out. Well, this simple job just got a little bit bigger. This hole, well, first the RV industry strikes again. It's not even flat. There's no gasket. These screws just spun. You can see the material on it. There's no threads. Well, there's threads, but they're coated. This is partly rotted. So this was causing major water intrusion and a little bit of a soft spot right there. So that's freaking amazing. You can even feel it. So as I pulled it out, this popped off. So if your camera had this style, it would be easier obviously to plug and play, but now I'm gonna have to get inside. There's a molding piece that has to come off, and I'm gonna have to find the wire and figure out which one is positive and negative. So yeah, I'm gonna get a piece of a Turnabond meanwhile and put it right on top of this just for the next couple of days, and then I'll worry about this in a few days. I think Thursday morning. Oh, I did not want to do that today, but here we are. Well, that curved piece of trim is what's going to have to come out. I can't do that for a few days. I'm out of time today. But when I get back, and I pull this thing around front, and we can put the slide out, because I think the slide's going to need to be out to get to that. Then I can pull that piece of trim down, look at our wiring, and figure out what we got. But until then, plug that hole, put everything away, and come back to this RV. You know, this would be interesting. I mean, I know they make these with that are, you know, completely wireless, so don't need power. But obviously the power is extremely important for this. So I'm going to want to put power to it, battery pack or something, if you wanted to put this on some other type of trailer or something. So probably pretty, you know, just like I'm running it to the 12-volt jump pack that I've got. That's what was powering this. So yeah, we'll get back to it and yell at these guys for not. I'm going to fill that hole full of silicone, I think, and hopefully when I take that trim off, it's not a mess. But yeah, this is definitely not acceptable the way they put this together. So the next step is they do provide this cable here with the red and black wires, but see the wire hanging way down there. I don't want to cut the original wire, you know, in case, you know, I need to reuse this one or something. So for 10 bucks on Amazon, I bought this cable. I searched everywhere, try to find an adapter. So if they had an adapter that had this end to this, well, this five pin connector with just the power, we'd be fine. So I'm going to cut this back a little bit so I have some extra wire to work with. I'm going to try to find, hopefully they're color coded and red and black are in here, and I can just use the red and black and be in business. So we're going to find out here in 2 seconds. Great success. We have black, red, white, green, yellow. So I'm going to get rid of the ones I don't need. We're going to wire into that and we're going to do a quick test. All right, well, quite simply plugged in. You saw it was red and black, so the wires are connected. I'm just going to put this here. Pretty long cable, so it's again going to get tucked up in there, and then I'll if you got to get back here and do this, you know, just know you need a stapler because it's a mess. All right, guys, 45 minutes into a 10-minute job, maybe longer. Here's the problem. So problem number one, red and black are not red and black. Green is red and white is black. Okay, so that makes perfect sense, but that wasn't hard to find. I was able to read it with a multimeter. When you put the multimeter across green and white, you get, with it plugged in obviously, you get 11.8 volts, which should be enough to run this camera. However, when you put the camera wires onto these wires, the voltage drops to around 5 volts. So I don't know, and I tried going back into here and using this connector again. As soon as the camera is connected, the voltage drops to 5 volts. So I could go to the controller and actually open up this wire and provide power, but I don't want to, because, you know, these tiny little wires, I don't want to push a higher amperage of 12 volts through this whole RV. So I went to COA, course of action number 3, and I just spliced into the marker lights. So as long as the parking lights are on, this thing will be on. So let's go out and install it. I don't think I'm going to show that because I don't have enough hands, but I'm just going to put the gasket on there, throw the screws in, and we should be good to go. It should be that simple. So finally, and then I'll just bring my stapler with me and worry about this once I get to the RV park. All right, guys, well, that was a trip, and it's installed, but I'm gonna pull it back out here. I do like this camera has great color and great quality. I really like that. I like the color and quality compared to my old one. I only have one problem, and that problem is the field of view. Let me do one quick test here to see if I can adjust, because the field of view does have adjustments. So let's see if I can adjust the field of view. No, it's just flipping it upside down. So why is that a problem? It's not a problem. What's the problem with this one? The field of view is not tall enough, and that's specific to my RV because my fuel fill is on the back of the RV, and I need to see the back of the RV specifically to fuel up. If it wasn't for that, this would be just fine. And they did send me another camera, and I could potentially connect that camera to another location, and I would be able to see the fuel fill just fine. The only other problem is I do like to see the tow hookup for the Jeep, while this is also running. So I'm gonna switch back to the other one, epoxy up the old holes and some of that old wood, and just put the other one back in, because for this trip I just need to see the fuel fill. I just need to, like, it's a pain to when you pull up to a gas pump and you don't know when to stop, or you go too far, 1 foot in either direction and you're too far away. So just because of where this is located, it's not quite in the center, but it's not an easy location. All right, well, I have one last test for this. It's hard to see up there, but I've got it sitting on the dash, the monitor sitting on the dash there. And then down here is, again, my test setup. So this is just my Walmart Hyper Tough 12 volt max. Let me make sure these wires are not touching each other. Now, and I've got a 100 foot open reel tape measure. And I'm gonna walk to the other side of the yard and see how far, and I'm just going to carry this, see how far I get. This isn't as scientific as it could be. I wish I had the Durango, but the Durango is not in the backyard right now. So I'm going to see how far we can get. Can you still see me? Well, she's over there. She says she can still see me. The camera is still on, and we've reached the end of the tape measure. So 100 feet, and we've still got connectivity. So this thing's working. It's in the RV, and I'm 100 feet away. So if you've got a 100 foot rig, which I don't know who does, it's still gonna work. So that's got some awesome signal strength. So thanks for watching, guys. Hey, overall I like the camera. I like the quality, I like the color. It seems good. Once you get it hooked up to a non-Furrion system, you see what happens. It does work. Again, this system in this one, and it's got this box down here. So that box down there is a pain sometimes, and it clearly does not give enough voltage to power this 12 volt camera for some reason. So I'm gonna go back to the old one. We're gonna go on our trip, and then it is what it is. But again, it's a good camera. I do like it. Just not for my application, unfortunately. If they had a wider view, taller view camera, I'd be super happy with it. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.